Hello and welcome back to Organic Cardboard. My name is Owen Kneep, and today I am going back in the mountain. I'm going to go ahead and go back to the big battle and follow the Mountain King. This is one of the very first videos that I ever did. Was some rules videos for this game. They're pretty crappy, but you know it's like you got to start somewhere. And today I'm going to be doing a solo playthrough of this game. And it's funny, I actually had to go back and rewatch my old tutorial video for the solo rules to remember what was going on here. But basically, like, this isn't going to be a real rules teach video. I do have those out there that you can follow along with. They're pretty slow, and I'm kind of still getting used to being on camera on those videos. But I had somebody that was asking a bit about the solo mode and what I felt about it. And I really like this game a lot. It's one of my favorite games, and definitely one that is absolutely staying in my collection. And it's a great excuse. I've been wanting to get it out again for a while. And so I feel like this is a great opportunity to do a little playthrough and to just do a solo one while we're at it. So if you're familiar with this game, which you probably are if you're looking at it, looking at this solo playthrough, and there's some big differences in this one versus the regular standard play. One of the biggest ones is that you don't score points at all during the whole game. You're going to just be scoring at the very end. And what you're kind of doing is you're like the only clan, the last kind of vestige of people that are standing by or not people, but trolls, standing by to kind of thwart off these gnomes. And you're having to defend what they call strongholds, which are going to be these areas of area control on the map, where the gnomes are going to be scoring points if you don't control them. And so you're kind of just mitigating what the gnomes are doing the whole time, and then scoring at the very end depending on how well you got yourself spread out. So certain things aren't going to be very, like, you're not going to score for like those whatever they call those ancestry set, the elder symbols on your player board at the end. And you're more or less just wanting to get as much of your people out as possible and try to remove the gnomes. And you're going to score for all of the Great Hall areas, as well as the clan board. And there's a lot of hidden information on this one. Sort of, there's almost like, in a way, you kind of have more access to information because it's a little easier to peek at what the gnome's power is on it. But I'm gonna kind of quit babbling about it, and I'm gonna show you what we've got on the overview here. So I've got this all set up already. I've got this set up again in the solo player style. So we've only got I'm gonna be playing as yellow, and the gnomes. I'm gonna probably start calling them trolls. The gnomes are going to be using the pink color as what they'd call obstruction markers. So every one of these pink trolls here, and this is the deluxe set that has the actual little plastic miniatures for these. They're gonna be placing those out onto our ancestry board, and this ancestry board's a little big for two reasons. One of them is because when you're playing this solo, you're going to start with two of those big cards, the 3x2 cards, and you're going to place one over the other, covering two spaces. And then we're going to go through like a simulated draft where you're going to draw out 4 cards. So I'm keeping the discard pile up here for all the ancestry board. And you're going to draw like 4 out, and then you're going to pick one of those 4. You're going to discard all those, and then draw 3, pick one of those, discard all those, draw 2, pick one of those, and discard the other one. And then I actually have this 0, whatever, the beginning starting troll champion. And I had this one as my option out of the 2 that I got to draw from. And this one I think is just really good for solo. He's just pretty powerful as it is anyways. He lets you build up to a 7x7 quadrant ancestry board instead of a 6x6. So he lets you have a lot more freedom on how you're placing your piece, your action board out, and you get one additional card starting off. So if you'll notice, my board's already kind of big to start off with. So a couple of things to note too. So like every time we're going to take an action, we're going to draw another one of those cards off, and then depending on what round we're on, we're going to have to take a certain number of obstruction tokens and place them onto one of the matching symbols that's going to come off of that ancestry and card that I draw, and then we'll put that on our board somewhere wherever we want to, as long as it's covering at least one of those spaces that it's showing. And then if we have multiple ones, like on the second wave, we're going to be doing 2 of them. On the third wave, we're going to be doing 3 of them at a time. There is a way to get those removed. We're going to be able to remove them whenever we go over to the gnome wheel here, whenever we're taking one of these little gnome actions and messing with this wheel. When this marker crosses over here, we're not going to get, again, we're not gaining any points at all during the game. We're only going to gain them at the end, so we're not going to gain points off of this board. There's no boost markers or anything like that. When we cross over here, though, you can't really see it real well on the camera, but there's a little pink troll that's acting as an obstruction marker. And this is just a reminder to say that when we cross over here, we get to remove that number, whatever the power of that action was that we did to move that gnome wheel. We get to remove that many of them off of our ancestry board here, so that they're out of the way, because otherwise they're obstructing. They're keeping us from doing those actions, as well as blocking off any adjacency for like those chained kind of strong actions when you're trying to link things together. So that's going to be going on. I can always, too, as an option, I can place the obstruction markers that come out onto these wild symbols, and I can also place them onto the elder symbols here as well. And then at the end during the refresh phase, all those will come off except the ones that are on my ancestry symbol. So I didn't even really want one of these on my board, but this is the last card I took. I had to place it somewhere. And so these elder symbols can never be covered up by me, but we can put obstruction tokens on them. And then the only way we can remove those then is if we do that gnome wheel action. They won't remove during the end of an era, or end of a wave, I guess is what they're calling each of the rounds. So we're going to go through 3 rounds. We have the board set up here, and so instead of all of these great halls showing what their numbers are to begin with, I had to select 2 of them. I got to choose which 2 I wanted to. I just kind of, I don't know, for whatever reason, I decided to get these 2. So this is the highest one, is a 12, and that's the lowest one, is a 4. So there's going to be 4 8s or 12s that we're going to be running into. So we know at the end of the game, we definitely want to have control over here. But otherwise, we're, again, keeping control of the strongholds. And so these strongholds are marked over here. In fact, I can probably get this a little bit closer. Here we go. So during the setup here as well, we're only revealing 2 that are random. Well, I get to select what they're not really random. I get to choose, but it's more or less random because it's kind of just whatever, that I felt like looking at. And then these are going to be considered strongholds. They have an obstruction marker next to them. We're going to draw out 4 additional ones that they'll never be more than 2 on one of these locations. But it just means that we're going to have that many of those caverns controlled in that area in order to keep them from scoring. Otherwise, at the end of every wave, they're going to get 3 points for every obstruction marker that doesn't have something like that isn't being contended against. And so we're gonna be trying to control the green, the blue, the white, and the purple at the moment. And then after this first wave, we'll draw out 4 additional ones, and then that'll be it for the rest of the game. I'll get to reveal one of these at the end of the wave 1, and then another one at wave 2, and then the other, I guess, what is that going to be? 3 more additional ones are going to be random. We won't really know what they are. We do kind of have an idea because if you play this game before, you know how high these go up to. I think they go up to 12 is the highest. This one's at 11 right here. And then at the end of the game, we'll score based off of like if we have the highest number of clan votes in this area, then we'll get the middle number. And then if we don't, if we allow the gnomes to take over that area, then they'll actually get the highest number. So we really want to control these strongholds. It's kind of the theme of this solo game here. So a couple other little rules changes, and there may be some stuff that shows up too that I'll just explain whenever it happens, or if you notice me do something kind of weird, I may forget to explain it, but and I may just mess up the rules too. That's certainly possible, but there are a few things that are different. So like so these are the trolls that are available for us, the champions that are going to be ones that we can potentially influence in this first round. We will have to hit a threshold of at least 3 on each one of these. So the bare minimum is that you'll have to have 3 votes in order to gain them, but you'll also have to have an additional vote for every gnome that is in their domain as well. So we do have to deal with that. If we don't gain them, but we have at least 1 influence on them at the end, then we'll at least gain 1 vote in each of the whichever ones that we have, 1 vote in their clan domain. So we'll be fighting for those a little bit differently at the end of the wave 2. Like we won't entrench with the gnomes. We won't gain any points from the gnomes. If we do kill the gnomes, they don't go back over on that gnome wheel and add to that. The breaches will only ever be 2 at a time. Yeah, otherwise, I mean, the majority of it's the same. We will get to peek at them a little easier whenever we do whenever we put down like any clan votes over here. We'll get to take a peek at them. So every time again that we add a vote over here, we'll get to look at one of the gnomes. We'll also, every time that we use that gnome wheel, we'll get to both look at one of the, here, let me move this back a little bit, one of the locations that they're going to be swarming into, and then we'll also get to peek at 2 additional gnomes. And when we say peek, we're actually just going to reveal them because we're playing a solo game. It's just going to be revealed information. Whenever a breach occurs, too, we're going to pick a random gnome out and look at its power value, and then the breach is going to occur in a clockwise direction, that many away from the swarm token over here that shows where they're showing up at. But otherwise, the majority of the game is going to be the same from then on out. I guess we could take a quick peek at what some of these gnomes are, or I mean, some of these trolls are that are going to be showing up, because I do want to see for myself even what those are going to be. So we've got Krem. For your own advanced actions, your layers are considered to be adjacent to each other. Okay. And then we have Zancor, which this is an actual token on the board that'll show up. He'll be an actual champion on the board. And then he immediately after Zancor advances into a cavern, you may cover an additional advanced symbol on your ancestry to gain 2 influence with a champion of that cavern's clan. So that's pretty nice, pretty nice. I do want to gain these guys. And then Balcor. And so 3 times per wave, you may peek at 1 gnome in a cavern adjacent to Balcor. Not as important, but we still want to get those clan votes that are coming from these guys. So, all right. So at this point, I think I'm pretty much ready to choose what my first turn is. I will say I've got 1 extra supply here. So I start at 8. Because we're on wave 1, which would be at the 7 spot, and then we have 1 additional supply, which means that we also don't start with any desperation tokens. Okay, so let me figure out what I'm going to do. Okay, so the things I'm looking at on the board here is that you can see I need to have control of caverns in these 4 locations by the end of this round. So I need to start getting people out on the board, and I want to be able to like manipulate the gnome wheel in a way that's going to allow me to know when to attack gnomes, and also be able to take advantage of things like moving my people around a little bit more. I will say that one of the other differences in this too is that you can push people into gnome spots to battle them as well, where you can't do that on a normal game, but you can on the solo. So there's that as well. So I think what I'm going to do for my first action is take something simple. I'm just going to do a strong action of 2. And I want to put a couple more gnomes out on the board. And I kind of want to, a couple more gnomes. I'm going to call these trolls gnomes, and I'm going to call the gnomes trolls. It's going to go back and forth. This is going to happen. But I'm going to put 2 out over here because I need to start getting into the moon and the I don't know, mountain, whatever. I'm gonna call them by their colors because I can't remember the names of the clans off the top of my head. But I'm going to put 2 out right here. That way, if I can start moving them, I can get them over to these locations. Then I need to get up into green as well by the end of this wave. So we're going to move the supply marker down 1 to show that we did 1 action. And then we've got this here as well. So I have to cover up one of these 2 symbols, and it does not need to be a strong action. It just needs to be one of those 2, so I can look at my board and see what is not as important to me. I definitely like to be able to move, and I like to be able to move multiple times. I don't know how important these clan votes are going to be just yet, because I'm also, well, they are going to be important for gaining control of the champions. So there is that. So maybe, so the other thing I can do is I can put this like on a wild symbol if I want to. But that takes away options from me because I could use that to chain over here too if I wanted. So I think I'm just going to use that, and I'll put 1 obstruction marker right here. So that just shows the end of my turn and what they did to kind of get in my way during that as well. So let's see. Okay, I believe what I'd like to do is take advantage of the gnome wheel once, and I'd like to just get some more people out. I want to kind of spread out. I'm not sure if I want to attack any of these guys just yet. I want to start creating a chain basically of my people so I can move around the board a lot easier and spread out as much as possible. So I think I'm going to go over here as a strong action and do the gnome wheel up twice. That'll let me bolster 2 more people out. And I think I'm going to place them right over here. But when I'd started that action, I get to peek at 2 of these gnomes as well. So we can see, I wonder if that's going to show up at all. Yeah, there's no great way for me to set that on the camera, but that is a 2. It's a 2, you can see. And then we'll look at this one as well. It's another 2. So we're going to need at least 2 trolls moving into those spots in order to make that work for us, and kill those gnomes, get them out of the way. I do also get to look at this, so we know that the first place that they're going to come out at the end of when they're in the first wave, they're going to come out from the moon location. So we know that's going to be going on. All right, let's see what the enemy is going to do as far as obscuring my board. So now I've got to get rid of a... I think I'll probably just get rid of this single one up here, because maybe I can use those doubles. I got to think I've only got 6 more turns by the end of this wave. I do want to have control of people, so yeah, I feel like, because otherwise I can do a double. Yeah, now I think, man, So tough. I could always throw it on a wild, but the wilds are too good for other stuff. So we'll just put it over here. It's hard to figure out on this game, like when you're trying to think about whether to take over one of the stronger ones, the number two, the twos, or the single ones, because the single ones you can chain together to make them stronger, or you can take two actions at the same time whenever you're doing those. So it's a little difficult to choose which one's the right one to go with. So now I'm probably going to want to move my people around. So I'm going to do, I think, 2 weak actions to do a double movement. We can start getting our people into these stronghold areas. I think I'm going to do these two. It's 2 weak actions. And so the way this works again is that you chain through places where you already have control. So I'm going to place one in the fire over here, fire domain, and then this one will chain through and go over here. So now I've got control over 2 new domains. So we'll get one more in green and we'll get one more in red, which will be the first one. So we got to put one on the board here. Okay. So let's see what they obstruct. Okay, so I can either take away a gnome action. Now, the thing that sucks about them obstructing is they break off these chains as well, which isn't great. I do want to be able to move. At the very least, I want to be able to do one more movement of two separate people. So, I mean, I could just go ahead and use up this ancestry symbol. They say that it tends to be a last resort when you want to do that. So it's either I have to get rid of a wild space, a gnome. You know, this wild space is so good because it's connecting to so many things. I would love to be able to do another gnome action by the end of this. So, it's tough because, I mean, this will probably come off my board like sometime the next round if I put it in this ancestry symbol spot. But, you know, if I take this wild one, I'm still connected everywhere else. So let's, oh man, I hate losing the wilds. I really hate losing the wilds. Because my other option is to just go up here and take off this 2, which I'm kind of thinking I could kill a gnome with that double movement that way at some point. So I'm kind of reluctant to do that. Yeah, I guess I'll eat it and take a wild. Little bit of a hard decision. Okay, so I just realized too I'd been messing up and was not moving the gnome wheel during some of the gnome's draw actions. So that first action I did was a bolster, and I'm gonna kind of just to keep the game moving here. I've goofed this a little bit with the gnome action and where I was bolstering at and things like that. So I'm just going to leave this part as it is. Sorry about that. But what I'm supposed to be doing when I draw these cards, this was the first card I drew out for the gnomes. I'm supposed to be adding gnome wheel movement for the blanks and the elder symbols here, as well as wild symbols and the supply symbols. And I've been forgetting to do that. So that first action, I was supposed to have moved this to, so it should have been where it was at right now on that first movement. And then I would have went 1, 2 over here, and I probably would have picked something else, but I don't want to redo the whole video right now. So we're just going to carry it out from where it's at. Mulligan on that, or whatever you want to call it. That 2 additional movement would have left it here. 2 more additional movement from this next card with 2 blanks would have tripped it over into the section where we're going to be doing a breach. And so the way this works is that, and I've already kind of drawn these gnomes out over here, so I'm just going to pull them off as I did when I was realizing how I messed this up. So you pull one out from the pile, and I'd pulled a 1 out. And so the 1 means that this the spawn location is going to move 1 clockwise over. And we're always going to end up putting out 2 gnomes during each of these breaches. It's never going to be more or less than that. So they go wherever's closest, which is going to be here, and then they continue going wherever's closest or easiest, meaning that there's less trolls in the area if none of them are free. And I'm going to put this second one right here. And that leaves room for the this hammer clan area over here, because I kind of want to be able to maybe take control of that champion by the end of this. Now we had 1 additional movement at the end of all of that as well from this last card with that elder symbol. So it's going to end up right there. So I cheated a little bit, taking advantage of that bolster action when I did. I probably would have done weak actions. It's not going to make a big deal. Otherwise, it's probably going to even out by the end of it. Okay, so now I'm just going to take a double movement action, I believe. So I'm going to take a couple of these off. I did also fix my supply during all of that, figuring that out before. So I'm at 5 supplies starting off right now, this being the 4th turn. I do want to move people down into this cavern down here. Potentially get some people in over here to move in and maybe kill a gnome. I'm not sure, but I know I want to take control of those strongholds and start and keep spreading my people around. So let's do that. Let's take a double a move, and we're gonna move these guys over here through this one. One's gonna go, and then for my second weak action movement, this one's gonna travel through him and land right there, I believe. Maybe I actually do have connection over here, so maybe I'd just like to do that. It also keeps me closer, well, both to this and also to the hammer location over here. So I just entered in 2 additional areas right then as well. So I've got the moon clan space is going up over here on this little clan voting track. We got 1 there now. And then we've got 1 on the mountains. All right. So now let's do this correctly and see what the next one is that's coming out. All right, so we've got 2 blanks. We know we're going to move up 2 more spaces. And I've got to cover either a gnome or a advance action. Gosh, this is always so difficult. Now they're gonna end up hitting this soon enough, and I might be able to take advantage of something with that gnome action. If I can get over to this place on the gnome wheel too, I can remove some of these obstruction markers, which wouldn't be bad, especially considering how much supplies I have. Otherwise, I'm just going to have to take 1 big strong action somewhere, which is getting more difficult as we go. It might just be to put votes on somebody. I'm very tempted to just take this at this point and keep my other spaces free. So I think I am going to do that. So my elder sign is covered. We're going to move up 1, 2 spaces for the 2 blanks. This is only going to get harder in the other waves, but we will have more symbols to cover too at that point because our board's going to be bigger. All right. For now, I want to continue bolstering. So I want to keep bringing people out. And I'm not sure exactly where I want to put them at just yet. It doesn't really matter which symbols I take at this point. I could take these 2. Yeah, we could just take these 2 off to the side. Maybe we'll end up doing a big one before the end of it. I did forget to move my marker down the last time, so let's do that before I forget. Let's move it again right now. So we know we've got 3 more supplies. And let's put out 2 more. So we can put these in 2 different locations if we would like. I'm tempted to just put them on my... I probably shouldn't put them on my actual layers because I could take advantage of the people where they're at right now. So let's see, where can we spread out the easiest? I probably want to put at least one of them in over here, I think, because it's kind of further away. Um, Man, I almost would just go ahead and put one in right there and have it ready. Although this spot is pretty connected, this middle spot it's got a lot of connections around the board, which would not be bad. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that one then. We'll put it in that middle section. Let's see what they do in response to all of that. So we know the gnome wheel is going to move up one, so let's go ahead and do that because it's not going to trigger anything right now. And man, it just keeps taking over all my spaces. I would like to get some votes in. I'd really like to be able to take advantage of the gnome wheel one more time as well, if I can. Which I've only got one more to do that with, because then I could potentially remove this one off when I do that. Although it's just going to trip something anyways. You know, maybe I shouldn't even worry about it, and we'll just keep the clan vote spots open. I've only got 3 more actions I can do anyways. The only thing that kind of stinks is if I can take 2 more turns without them covering over too much more spots here, then I could potentially take a big bolster action, which I'd like to be able to do. Although I don't even have any other weak actions, so it really doesn't matter at this point. Because I'd have to be taking 2 weak actions with that. So let's see. Maybe I can just take 1 weak action. I think normally you take 2. I think we'll just. Gosh, how many clan votes am I going to need to get? I'm going to need to get a bunch. I really want to. I need to kind of focus on doing that. So I think we're gonna have to cover over the gnome spot, unfortunately. So we've already done our movement up the gnome wheel, and so I think I really want to get that one champion. So let's go ahead and start moving that direction. We'll put in. Really doesn't matter too much about where we put this at this point. We'll just put it in right over here. And so we're going to be taking a strong action, gaining 2 clan or 2 vote, 2 influence, whatever you want to call it. And we will go ahead and put it into Zancor. Now, it's the very first time that I've voted for him there, so I believe I still get to take advantage of this additional movement that you get whenever you're the first one when you first vote or get influence on a champion. I believe you still get that last one. Let me double check that. Yeah, there is nothing in the rules that says anything otherwise. So I believe I do get the 3 on Zancor. So that means I might be able to get Krim still by the end of this. So let's see what they do in response to that. All right, so this isn't too bad because there's no blanks now. So let's cover over, I guess, one of the bolster actions. Let's cover over this one because maybe we'll have to be able to hit these 2. It doesn't really matter because they're weak actions anyways. So let's pop that away. Now, it's probably not bad for me to go ahead and just take that other vote. I keep calling them vote. These are clan votes. Those are influence. But I'm going to interchange that name constantly as well. Oh, I forgot. Well, it doesn't matter, but like anytime you influence over here too, you get to look at one of the gnomes in that domain. But we're not running into one of those right now because there's none in the hammers domain. So let's spend that supply while we do this. And we'll go ahead. I think it's worthwhile to get a hold of these guys. They also give you those votes as well. So that'll put us up to 3 with Krim, and she's pretty good as well. Okay, let's see what they do. Now it's 2 more blanks, so we know this is going to move up twice. Now, this is a problem because they are going to breach again because we do not have one of these to be covered. So they're going to move up again. Yep, unfortunately, we do not have one to cover. So that is going to trigger the breach once more. And that means that we're going to draw a random gnome out from the gnome pile that I have over here. Not looking. Okay, so it's 1 again. So they're going to come up over here, and then 2. No, I'll just draw it. Technically, this one should go back. So let me throw that in back. Okay, so we've got 2 unseen gnomes, and they want to go to wherever's closest. It's coming in this area. So 1, 2, and 1, 2. So they're basically just going to come here and come here. All right. Well, unfortunately, there's none still coming over into these locations over here, and we are still alive at the moment. We've got one more turn to do, so we could do a double advance action and kill one of the gnomes. And we may lose those same. The only thing that stinks with this is like you don't get those points for losing your trolls, so it's kind of like you almost want to be a little bit more careful about when you choose to lose one. So we could block off one of these double gate locations because if they have an option, they're going to go to the easier one. So they would be safe if I move them, like if I move 2 in over here with like this double action. It also wouldn't be terrible to just bolster either at this point and just get a couple more on the board, because I feel like I am going to want a lot out because they're probably going to have to run in and attack all these guys afterwards. And if I attack them, then I'm not losing them. So maybe let's go ahead and just do that. So we'll take a double bolster. And with the double bolster, we shall place... now we want to keep getting able to spread out. Unfortunately, I don't have more people down this direction over here. So let's put 1 in over here because I feel like that's another good location for spreading. And, you know, maybe, gosh, we got so many gnomes over here. I kind of need to be ready to move in with some people. So maybe we'll put 1 in over. I guess I'll put 1 more in over here. Still not bad. Still pretty connected areas. Okay, so I believe that, yeah, we would draw 1 more after that because that was my last action. All right, so it's going to move up 3. 1, 2, 3, because the 2 blanks, and I don't have anything to cover for that 1. All right, so let's move on to the next phase where we're going to go through invasions. So we know that we're going to have them moving into the moon location. So we're going to move the swarm token over here. 2 are going to come in. And unfortunately, they're going to probably go ahead and keep me from getting these champions. So let's draw 2 random ones here. So 1's definitely going to go right here. And then we do have 2 areas that they could go in because it can go 1, 2 or 1, 2. So let's put it in the blue. All right, so let's see what the next one is. It is unfortunately the hammers. My goodness. I mean, I would have had to been pretty lucky to not have 1 show up in the hammers. Maybe if we're really lucky, this won't be the purple spot. So let's put 1 in over here, and 1, 2. Oh gosh. So I've got to either put 1 into the mountain areas, or I've got to put. Yeah, I guess it doesn't really matter at this point. it's either going to go 1, 2, 1, 2, or 1 and 2. And so let's keep it out of the purples. And we'll put it right here for right now. Maybe we'll be able to attack them. All right, so let's see what the last one is. And it is fire. All right, so they're going to go into the fire with 2 additional gnomes. They're really spreading out. And let's see. So closest. So 1, 2, 3. That's what I'm kind of seeing this one. I don't think there's any other ones that are 2, 3. Yeah, I don't see any other ones that are going to be closer than that one. And then this next one could go 1, 2, 3, 4 up into blue. Or if I don't go towards blue, it's going to come back around this way and go 1, 2, 3, 4, or 3, 4. So I could fill them up into hammers potentially. That wouldn't be terrible, but it's either hammers or blues, because we could start getting ready to start moving back into hammers and maybe get rid of these guys on the next go round. And we know we're going to want to kind of control hammers anyways, because that's going to let us start getting ready to get a hold of Zancor, but it's going to be late in the game by the time we actually get a hold of them. I wish I would have gotten them this round. Yeah, let's put them over here. I think that's okay. Let's put them right there. So we'll move on to the next bit here. We will award champions at this point, so we will get to get Krim. In fact, let's go ahead. I'm gonna kind of put these more or less on top of each other. Maybe we can kind of catty corner them a little bit. Merrick's not really important because he's only effective for the very beginning. But now we've got 2 more influence over here in this vote section for purple. And now for your own advanced locations, your layers are considered next to each other, so the layers can kind of teleport people around, which isn't super important right now, but at least it got me a couple more clan votes. We score the wave, so we look at all of these stronghold locations over here, and then we figure out if we, as long as we have control of 1 in each of those locations, which we do, then we're good. They don't score any points. Otherwise, the gnomes will start scoring points based off the ones that we don't have control over. All right. So there's going to be a couple things that go on. I need to make sure I do this in order. So we're going to clear off all of these obstructions except for this one over in this elder sign spot. And we get to remove all these off too as well. All of our own markers. Now we're going to add 4 new strongholds. So we're going to shuffle these up, and then we're going to draw out 4 cards to see where the next strongholds are going to be showing up, or if they're just going to get where we need to have even more people in these locations. All right, that's probably enough. Okay, till it feels right. OCD, kick in. Okay, engage. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so all but mud is going to have a second one, or all but forest, I guess. Let's see. I'm kind of saying that in a weird way. Mud's going to get one, and then those 3 do. So now we've got all 8 of the stronghold locations. So these ones are kind of doubled up. All right, goodness gracious. So that went on, and then we get to reveal 1 vote tile. I'm just shuffling these because I'm going to have to draw these out for the next waves as well. So what vote tile do we really want? Maybe one where we don't have any votes already. We're probably going to end up, I know we're going to end up having control a little bit in the mud because we're going to want somebody there. And we know we're probably going to go for hammers. So let's look at blue because I want to see. In fact, yeah, no, I didn't move anybody into blue, so we didn't gain any control over there. So we know blue requires at least the 2, I think, on that one to be able to get into it. Okay. Okay. So after doing all that, we are, I'm just going to go ahead and set out these 3 additional waves for this round. We're going to go through the process of adding to the board. So let's go ahead and draw out the first one. Well, we draw out 4. And we get to look at all these. I don't really love the elder signs. I could use a supply, but maybe not. It's not super important to have a ton of supplies because you'll find that your board's kind of covered anyways. It's great to have extra symbols. It's great to get things linked up together as well. So looking at what we've got here, I mean, these elder signs are kind of okay because they're a dump point, but I really like to have just more symbols, more things to be potentially covered up later. And I've got some areas on my board that are more or less set up. I'm going to pick which one that I use though and show you. So I think I'd like to be able to move people around a bunch. This is as far down as my board can go because I'm at 7. So 4, 5, 6, 7. Can't go any further down than that. Can still go left or right a little bit. So let's toss those ones away. Let's see what the next 3 are. I'll just lay them out here. All right. This one is going to set us up for a really big bolster action, potentially. Now we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can still go over 1 more. So let's put those back. Now we draw 2 more. Okay, and if I put this one down over here, I'm still within 7. Still within 7 left and right. So I'm at the limit right now on left and right as well. So this is as big as my board can get. Okay, and this one will get tossed away. We'll now go up. This is where we would start on wave 1. We have 1 additional one because of this supply here as well. And so we do get 1 desperation token to use on a weak action on this next go round. Before I forget to, let's go ahead and draw out the next champion to fill up that space there. This is Fenwin. And Fenwin says twice per wave, while placing cubes to activate your ancestry, you may cover a blank space or supply symbol and treat it as a wild symbol. So that's quite nice if we ever get to that point. So what I'm going to do then is I want to take advantage of this big bolster action while it's available before I start losing it from obstruction tokens. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we can put out 5, and I think I'm just going to put them in this center location. All of my people are connected right now. So when I start moving them around, I can just run them around from this center location. Okay, let's see what they do. Pull it out. So we've got to cover up 2 spaces now, and then we've got to move the wheel 3 spaces. So let's see what two spaces. Well, I guess there's actually only one on there, so we only have to actually cover one. Um, doesn't really matter at this point. We'll maybe we want to keep. I mean, these are going to stay. So this one's not really doing anything bad for us, anyways. So we'll just cover that over, and we'll move the gnome mill 1, 2, 3. So they're already getting ready to breach once more. All right. So I want to start moving people around. And I know I know I'm going to want to have people in blue. I want to have people more in white, and I'm going to want more people in purple. Purple's easy right now because there's nobody there. And I'd love to be able to take over more of the yellows and start getting ready to take Zancor. But I don't know if that's even going to happen. So let's see. So I'm going to do a bit of a gamble. I forgot to move my supply down last time too. So let's move it down a second time as I'm doing this action. I'm going to do a bit of a gamble, and I think I want to take two weak actions of movement and bolster, or use a desperation token for one of them to make it a 2. But I guess the first thing we're going to do is just do one of them and see what happens. Oh man, so I am tempted to. I mean, I know they're going to trip this wire on this next one. If I do go to the gnome wheel right now, I could remove this. But I know they're just going to bring out more people right away, and they're going to do it anyways. So I'm going to go ahead and continue with what I was going to do. So let's put one right there. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to walk 2 down in over here and see what happens. See if this is a 2 or less. And it is a 3. It is a 3. So these go back to one of my layers. So now we know we do not want to try to attack that one like that again. So craps. All right, let's see. I could try to get really lucky by moving a 1 down into an area and see if it does anything, or I could just bolster at this point. Man, that stinks. Okay. Well, yeah, I think I need to keep pushing, and I haven't seen a 1 yet. So I'm going to move 1 down in over here and see what happens with it as well. All of these are connected, so it doesn't matter too much. These might end up connecting something later, so I'm just going to put 1 down right here. And we're going to try to move 1 more in, and we'll try to move it in down here and see if we get lucky. I am lucky. Okay, cool. Well, at least that wasn't a total loss. All right, so I did take control over the hammers at that point, so now we do have 1 vote in the hammer board. Let's see what they draw. It is, so I have to cover a gnome, and then they're going to move 3 spaces. Okay, so either a gnome or a wild. I might as well just cover up this gnome here, though, and then they're going to move 3 spaces, 1, 2, 3. So now we are doing another breach. So we're going to draw a random gnome out here. It's going to move 1, so it's going to come up here, and then we're going to put out 2 additional gnomes. And one of them is going to go, let's see, this space would be 1, 2 right here. I think they're going to be going that direction regardless. So 1, 2, or they could go 1. Basically, any of these blues right here or this one is available. So I guess we'll put in 1 over here, and we'll put 1 in I don't really want so many in blues, so we'll put one more in red. All right. Now, let's see what movement we could do. And I'm going to play that gamble one more time because I know I can move one in over here and not get hurt. And then if I lose one more, I can put them in over in this layer, and then I can move with like a 3 action, get those guys all out into somewhere else later. So let's keep gambling, and at least we'll know what these gnomes' powers are when we do this, if we don't get them, which we're not likely to. So one here and one here is what I'm thinking. And we'll put, so we'll go ahead because we're pretty much planning to do this one over here. So let's do that. Oh, whoops, I'm just straight up adding them in like I'm bolstering. Let's pull in one over here, and let's put in one. Let's put in one over. I'm going to go into the blue section. So what is it? It is a 3. Man, a bunch of powerful gnomes hanging out. So we'll hop them in over there. We'll put this new one out. And now we've got to cover over a gnome and a advance action. I kind of like this double gnome spot where it's at. It might be more helpful for me to keep. So I think I'm going to take over let them take that wild for one of them, and then for the advance, I'm liking the double movement advances. I can move 3 in with this. So man, this is getting tough real quick. And then we're going to move 2 more spaces on the gnome wheel. Now, I think I'm going to go ahead and take advantage of the gnome wheel because, I don't know, it's probably not, I don't know what's the smartest thing to do right now at this point, but I could bolster in some more people, or I could just move people right now. I do need to gain control of some spots, and there's not really great movement over where we're at on the gnome wheel right now. And this is the only opportunity I'm going to have to do this. So so we'll go in over here. We'll move our supply down one more. We'll move this in 2. We get to bolster 2. We'll bolster 2 in over. I kind of just want to pile them up right now so I can move them more easily. So maybe it wouldn't be bad still to be over here. And then let's see. So we put 2 in. We do get to look at this, which we know they're going to come into blue during the wave. And we do get to peek at 2 more of these gnomes here. Let's see. Hopefully they're 1s, whatever we find. I know I'm going to want to get into blue, so let's look at this one. It's another 3. Okay, great. And then what's the other areas that I need? I need a second white, and this one was a 3. So let's take a look, and that's a 1. Okay, at least we know there's 1 on the board. All right, so that was my gnome action, gnome wheel action. Now they are going to cover over 2 of my advanced locations, which really stinks. And then they're just going to, well, I guess that's pretty much all they're going to do because they don't have any blanks or anything like that, so they're not going to move the gnome wheel. All right, well, we know we can move in 1 more over into white. So we should do that while we have the chance to do it. And let's go ahead and just take 1 from over here. So they can hop right in there and kill this guy. And what is my next action I want to do? I could try to move 1 more. In fact, I'm going to say that I moved one from the red instead, from this area instead, just because it's kind of better to have a couple groups. Because over here, this might be where I lose more people. I can't move anybody else though anyways, so I pretty much can only take one other weak action, and that would be to get another vote. Maybe we'll end up forcing Zancor through. Yeah, I think that might be where it's at. Yeah. I'm trying to make sure that none of these are really benefiting me in any way. Not really. So then we'll just get one more vote with Zancor, I guess, because it's not really helped me that much, but maybe we'll take a strong action on the next one. That's another supply at that point. Let's see what else they do. So they want to take a shield, and they want to take a gnome, but they can't, and so they're going to move 3 more spaces, which means they're going to do another breach. It's getting bad real quick. It is 1 away, so they're going to move into blue. And we're going to put 2 random ones out. So now we have to look. They might actually be attacking. Now I think they can still. Okay, so this one's closest, and then this next one is going to probably have to wrap around because the board's getting pretty full. So he's going to wrap all the way around. I don't see any other blanks, and this one is going to be the only other one that is not full. So now we're going to start losing our trolls pretty soon. Okay. So let's see. Should we bolster then, since we're going to be losing people very soon? Probably wouldn't be a terrible idea to. We've got basically 2 more actions to do. So yeah, let's go ahead and bolster for 2. And we'll put 2 more, I don't know, maybe in purple. All right, let's see what they do. So they're gonna cover one of my shields, and then they're gonna move 2, because there's only one of these that I can't do that I need to be able to do right now, and then there's a blank. So they're gonna move 2 across the wheel. And for my last action, I think I can still take Zancor. I'm probably going to end up losing this last guy because he's weak by himself. I'm at 4 right now with Zancor. So I only have to hit 5. So I guess I could do a weak action and do a bolster and 1 vote on him. And we'll bolster over here. Why not? Okay. All right. Then they'll do 1 more. So they want to cover a shield. They can cover one of my votes, but then they're going to move 2 more on the wheel. 1 for the one that they can't cover any longer, and 1 for the blank. All right, so that moved a little quicker. So now we're going to do the invasions. So we know blue's going to get invaded. So we're going to go with 2 of these. And the first one, easiest, closest location, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So it's just gonna knock. So one of these gnomes is gonna kill himself while he's killing this guy, and then the next one's gonna place himself right there. And then we're gonna go to the next is the purple, and so one is gonna come. They want to go to the easiest, closest location. So this moon's gonna get killed and one's gonna come in its place. And then we're gonna go to the mud, and the closest easy one to get to. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. I believe it's gonna be this location because this is the closest. 1, 2, 3. Yes. So this guy's gonna die and another one's gonna replace it. All right, fun stuff. So then we're going to award champions. I do have enough at this point to deal with this guy over here. So we will get to take Zancor. At least it was sort of worth it. Okay, so that's going to give me 2 in hammers. And I'm going to put a little marker out here on one of my champions. What is he? X. So now we do have Zancor out, and I believe he's going to go into one of my layers. So I'll just pop him in over here with these guys. All right, so we've awarded any champions. We are moving on to wave 3 at this point. Okay, so let's go ahead and get out one more champion. So these level 3 champions, you don't worry about what they say on there. They just basically, if you gain control of them, you get the votes, and then you're gonna just remove all of the gnomes from like one area next to one of the great halls. In fact, with the great halls, I totally forgot. It probably didn't make that big of a difference on this last one, but I forgot I was supposed to reveal a couple. So I'm going to reveal 4 of them right now. Let's go ahead and reveal. Let's reveal this blue one, and let's reveal this one for fun. It's a 12. That's good. Let's reveal this one where all the gnomes are at. There's another 12. And then let's reveal, oh geez, let's reveal, where's the white? So the white one's already revealed, purple one. I'm kind of just looking at where I know I'm already going to be going anyways. I guess maybe green or, yeah, let's, that one might be, maybe. It's an 8, okay. So there was me taking that back. So now we don't know what we're not going to know what the other ones are till the end of the game. All right. So we're going to score the wave now, and we're going to look at this clan board again. And looking at it, I do actually have at least control of one cave in green. Now the ice, I do not, and they're going to gain 6 points from that. So they are on the board now with 6 points because they gain 3 for each one of these. And with white, I control 1, but I do not control 2. So they're going to gain another 3. So they're at 9. And then with purple, I do control 2 with purple. And then with mud, I do not control. So they'll gain another 3. So they're already at 12 points. Fun stuff. All right, so let's remove all of these tokens off of the board here. All right, and let's get all these obstructions out of my way, except for this one. All right, and Let's see, what's the next thing that we need to do? We need to add 4 new stronghold. Oh no, we don't do that on the last one. We do reveal 1 additional vote tile. Let's look at mud. So mud's pretty high as well. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and shuffle these guys up, put those out, and while I'm doing that, I'm going to pull out the next 4 of these as well. For our final ancestry board development, look at all of those elder symbols. I do like that there's a wild. The wilds are definitely handy. And now we're in wave 3, so I'm at 6 supply right now with 3 desperation tokens. Desperation tokens are actually pretty nice. They're pretty helpful. So I don't know if I really want that supply. I think I kind of like the wild symbol one. So that's probably what I'm going to go with the first go. Okay. It's probably shuffled enough. But 1, 2, and 3, those will be the final waves. All right. Yeah, I'm definitely going to go with this. Let me figure out where I'm going to place it. And I'll just place it right here. All right, let's toss these away. Let's gain 3 additional ones. 1, 2, 3. I'm definitely in need of bolstering and movement. Okay. I think I'm going to take this one, and I hate to have to cover up 2 symbols, but I want these to be able to link over. I might be able to take a huge bolster action if I can clear this one off here in just a bit. So we'll just go do that without thinking too hard about it. And then let's get 2 more. All right, so we've got another elders. There's another wild symbol. It's pretty nice. I think I'm just going to take this one. Yeah, I like the wild symbols. There's no great places for me to place this, but if I place it right here, at the very least, I'm only covering up 1 space when I do this. I don't really need this clan space down here. I kind of like that bolster action, but I really don't want to have to cover over any more advance actions because I may really need those. I might need those even more than the bolsters. So I'm going to place it right there. All right. So I think that leaves us ready to start this next go around. Yep, I believe so. Let's see what I'm going to do. So let's go ahead and bolster like crazy and get ready for some movement. Let me grab my desperation tokens before I forget to do those as well, because I do have 3, because I'm definitely going to use those. All right, so yep, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I think we're just going to place those out into the middle. 3, 4, 5, and 1 more, 6. So I've almost got all my 25 out. First time I played this solo, I had some character that let me grab like extra people out really easily, and I ended up actually going well over into these are extra ones because you can go up to 50 in a solo. But I don't think I'm going to do that this time. All right, let's see what the block off. So now they're doing 3. But they've only got 1 symbol there, so they're going to just block off 1 of my let's put this one, I guess. Oh, I could just use up these elder signs too, because what else am I going to do with them? Yeah, let's go ahead and just use that up. And they're going to move 3 times on the wheel. 1, 2, 3. So they are going to move 3 spaces here. 1, 2, 3. And then 2 are going to come out. So we can pretty much look at the weakest point on the board because they're connected everywhere. There's only one location where I have only one at. So they're going to put one in and then replace them with another one as that first one died. Okay. Yeah, because they're going to wrap all the way around. That's the easiest one to get into. All right, so now we need to start spreading like mad. And I did not move my thing down last time. So let's move it down again before I forget. And I could do 2 movements of 2, which is what I kind of think I should be doing. And I'm thinking like there's not really any great... I really wish I could take 2 strong actions when I wanted to. That makes it difficult. There's no great ways to like connect a lot of stuff, I don't think. So I'm just going to put these 2 down. And where do we want to move 2 down? So we know we can take over fire. It's not super important though. We really want one down into mud. And we want... Yeah, we want one down into mud. And we want... We really want a bunch in the mud if we can, just because it's a 12-point spot. But we definitely need some in the blues. There's a bunch of 3s sitting around there. Hopefully those other ones aren't 3s. So, do we want to try to take over the blues right now? Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I would like to get into mud too, just because it's worth so many points, but it's not blocking them from points. And if we can take over those blues, then we can get up into green. So let's go to this one first. So we're bringing 2 in over. Can they... Oh, I'm doing this backwards. Can they get in there? They can. All right. I gotta remember too that I'm using my desperation tokens to do this because I'm increasing each one of these actions by 1. So the other 2, do we want to go ahead and go into green? Maybe. I mean, we know we can get into green, and that's going to give us more ability to move around afterwards. So yeah, we'll go ahead and go into green and knock this guy out. All right, so let's see what they do next. So they want to cover over one of my advance actions. I'm tempted to just give them the strong one. Although I could use the strong ones now too, because I'm not going to have any other ways. Yeah, maybe I'll give him the weak one. Maybe I'll give him a wild. I don't know, because I have a lot of these connected right now. I'm going to give him this wild one, and then they're going to move 3. Okay. All righty. So, where else do we want to move to? We do want to continue advancing as much as possible. Let's see. Well, I think I'd really like to keep control of this because it's a 12-point spot. And I do need another white one anyways. So I've moved my supply marker down. I'm going to take a strong action of 3. Yes, I'm going to take a strong action of 3, and I'm going to place this wild, this one, and this one. And then we'll just move these 3 down here and kill this guy. All right. Let's see what else they do. They want to take over one of my gnome spots. Okay. I guess we'll just take this one. I've only got 3 more actions, so it's kind of tempting to just give them the big one because maybe I'll end up wanting that other one. So yeah, we'll give them the big one. And then they're going to move 3 more spaces. So they will breach. Let's see where. One space away. So they're going to breach in over here. And what is the weakest spot that I have right now? Because they're connected everywhere. Yeah, they can get all the way around the board. So then I have to look at my 2s, and I have to look at which one is closest. So I'm seeing 1, or right here, 1, 2, 3, or from here it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there's no other ones closer than this one. So they'll kill both of these guys because they're moving 2 in. All right. Okay, so we do want that other hammer spot. Definitely want to get in over there. So I don't see, well, no, there is another 2 over in the fire over there. It's not really super important to me. What I may do, what I'm kind of thinking to do is go ahead and use up my other desperation token and do 2 advance actions again. One of them will be just to put 1 in over here. And then somewhere I'm going to move 2 in and chance it. But where do I want to chance it? I think I may just chance it into the mud. I do want, no, I don't, it's not super important for mud. I've been forgetting too, like I know that one I just gained control and that was hammer. And then the last 2 was a blue. I gained 1 in blue. And I gained 1 in green. I'm not sure. I kind of want to double check to make sure I didn't think I had any other ones in blue. I'm going to double check though. Okay, and I definitely missed 1 in white just then as earlier too. So I double checked that because I forget to do that every time you gain control of a new a territory again. You get to gain that extra vote on the board as well. Yeah, and there was actually even 1 more that I saw too that I had missed in white. So I actually should have had 3 because I had moved once into here, once into here, and once into here at some point during the game. Okay, so that's done, and I am still trying to figure out where I want to move 2 more into. And gosh, I've got purple covered right now. I'm pretty decently strong in purple. I'm decently strong in white. Blue, I kind of suck in. And in green, I've got at least a couple in. And he's the weak one right now. He's the one that's going to get taken whenever somebody else comes out. So I'm kind of tempted to chance it into blue. And I think that's where I probably want to go. So who do I want to take? Maybe, yeah, probably the guys from this area over here. Do I want to take my champion? It doesn't hurt because if they get killed, they'll come right back. they don't actually go away. So yeah, I think I'm going to attempt to attack him. He has a 1, so he does go away. Okay, done. That was a lot of back and forth because I went and reviewed and made sure that I hadn't missed. I had missed. I had to go fix what I missed. So let's see what their reaction is at that point. That's going to be, let's see. So we lose one of my gnome actions. I guess at this point I'll just give him that because I'm not really connecting to anything else that's important with that. And then I either have to move 3 on the gnome wheel. At least they're not obstructing a lot. They're just really moving around that gnome wheel a lot. So let's not forget to move this supply marker down because I've only got 2 more actions to go. Okay, so man, it's getting down to it. I do want to keep moving and taking over areas. I don't know how much more of that I can really do. I basically got maybe 2 more things that I can do. I think about what's most important. So I definitely missed another one in purple too because I have the 2 here and I've got 2 locations controlled there as well. So the way these work again is I need to have, maybe I can get this closer here. I think it's this one. I need to have control of these. I have to have the lowest value. So I need 5 in purple to get 7 points. Otherwise they get 11. I only need 1 in over here, so that's good. I need 2 in blue to get 4 points, otherwise they get 8. And then I don't know what's in green. I'm probably good with that. I'm probably good with hammers. Definitely going to lose mud. I have to be super lucky. I don't think I'm going to get fire by keeping it there. So, man, yeah, it's getting a little hairy right now because I've only got 2 more actions that I can do. So I could be really ballsy and try to like do 2 weak actions, because I mean I could try to go over there. I've only got well I could do two weak, like a 2 week movement action, which maybe I should just attempt it and see what happens, because worst case after that, I could do a 2 movement maybe and take over a spot. So I think I'm gonna maybe have to try to be a little ballsy and attempt to get in some places. Yeah, because I don't really know what else to do at this point. Otherwise, I'm kind of getting to that point with it where I'm just not going to be able to do it. So if I do 2 weak actions, I can move 1 in over here. So we could just say we're moving this guy in, and it is a 1. All right, cool. That worked. All right, so we got 1 point and 5. So now we do have the purple taking control. So now I could attempt the green. I don't need that so much, other than that there's an 8-pointer right there. There's this big 12-pointer that's kind of getting negated by my other 12-point Great Hall right here. This one's obviously getting taken over, and so is this one over here. And fire, I'm looking at it, and I'm probably, at the very least, I'm thinking I'm going to need like 3 points in order to get it at the very least. So that's not likely that I will get the fire one. That we don't know what these other Great Halls are. They could, I don't remember what the distribution is, but I don't think there's very much more 12-point spots. So man, I'm almost tempted to just bolster into hammers right now just to hold this 12-point spot, instead of actually advancing. So yeah, I hate to do it, but I don't really know what else to do without thinking really hard about it. And the other thing is blue. I need one more in blue. So, you know, if I would have to do 2 clan votes into blue. That actually might not be bad because it's going to let me remove somebody from one of the group, like one of the places around a Great Hall. So yeah, let's go ahead and put a clan vote of 2 because it's the first one that's going in here, and then I'll clan vote on the next one for my last action. We'll see what they do right now. They want to cover over 3 spots. So they want to cover over a clan or a vote. They want to cover over an advance action and a shield action. So we have all that. The gnomes, they would like to cover that too, but they only have to cover 3. So now we'll just finish that up then and do the clan vote into blue. Because of that being a level 3 character, it might get me somewhere. So that's going to move this up 2 more. So we're at 4 right now. We're okay, but we'll see what happens. So now they're going to want to cover up one of these, and then they're going to move 3 more spaces, 1, 2, 3. So they are going to go into a breach. They're going to breach 1 away, and they will replace one of my single ones. I think they're going to replace the one in hammers, unfortunately, because that's the closest one. Yeah, it's only 3 away. Yep, that's the one that's going to get taken. Should have bolstered there. Oh well. So that's done, and then I think that's we're coming down to the end of it right now. So the invasions occur. They're going into hammers. So they're going to end up putting one in over here. And then they're going to go into blue. Weakest one is, or closest weak one, I believe, would be, they'd put in 2 over here. So I'd get my champion would stay in one of the layers, and then they going into fire. So they're hitting where there's 2 closest into fire. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. That would be 4 away to get those, or 2, 3, 4. 2, 3. Yeah, it's going to be the greens. Shoot. All right. So they just remove those out. All right. And now we're going to score the wave. All right. So I unfortunately don't have anything in green, so they're going to get 1, 2, 3. Blues, I have 1. So they're going to get another 3. 1, 2, 3. And then whites, I'm good. The purples, I'm good. Mud, they're going to get 3. All right. Finishing it off then, let's see. We're at the end of the era here. So now I know all these are going to flip over. So let's go ahead and score those. So I get 5 points for green. So it's the first time we're starting to get points. I did take the blue guy here, so I am good on that. And those champions came right after awarding, so I should be doing this first. So I should be I was waiting, but I should be picking which one I'm destroying. Where are we contested the most? Maybe over here, because this keeps them from getting 12 points. I think that's probably going to be the best route. Because looking at the board here, yeah, there's not too much else. Yeah, it's just going to be negating them the 12 points. Okay. So I gained 4 from blue, so that put me at 9. I'll gain 2 from white. It's like a pittance here. I'll gain 7 from purple, so that'll put me to 18. Hammers, I get 3. Put me at 21 with them. Mud, they get 10 because I did not have anything in mud, unfortunately, so they get 31. And then fire, I guess they get 12 because I didn't have anything there. I get 1 point for that, for having 1 there, but they're going to get 12. So that puts them at 43. Were there any other ones that I didn't have? Let's see, blue. No, I think I had scored all these other ones. Yeah. I was trying to make sure that I didn't miss any extra little pittance points. So then we look at the Great Halls, and they're going to run away with this. They're getting 8 and 8. It's 16. So let's go ahead and we'll just do it kind of around the board here. So in green, they're getting 8, and blue, they're getting 8. So that's another 16. So that's going to be 59. And then let's do white, or this one anyways. We're actually even because they're even and even. I think that's how it is. Yeah, I think it's only control of the spaces around it. So nobody on that one. Nobody on this one. We'll get another 4 points from that. Another 12 points from that. So that's 75. This one I get 12 points. So put me at 34. And I don't think I scored this one yet. So that'll be 46. And then this one, we're even. This one, they're getting 8. Wow, terrible. Very terrible. Yeah. Well, that's a solo play of, that's how to lose on the solo play. I have beat this before. This is, it's very difficult to get set up sometimes. You play this very differently than you do playing against other people. I think like you have to really prioritize spreading out strongly. It's almost worth just not even touching the champions. I feel like that was kind of a waste, sorta, because if I was just spreading around more, I'd be getting those clan votes anyways. I really have to start, controlling all of those different Great Halls. And this is the first time I've played this in like 2 years, probably, even multiplayer. So yeah, it's going to take a couple plays to get this out. But anyways, that's a playthrough of Fall of the Mountain King. Woo, woo, woo. The Mountain King definitely fell, and we did not gain enough honor to go into the glory halls of whatever new troll hall that they developed after the gnomes ran them out of their mountain. Maybe we'll do better in the Hall of the Mountain King. But I do really like this a lot. I love the action selection on this. Yeah, I want to play it again. I want to go through this all over again, and I want to do it with the knowledge of having just played it, and see if I can get a little bit better. So sorry I couldn't show you like the actual winning play of this. A lot of solo games are like this though, where it's just really set up in a way that's. I mean, you can take the difficulty down a little bit. There's little ways to tweak it, but it's mostly, I think, having to do with how those obstruction tokens come out. But it's just is what it is. It's supposed to be hard. It's supposed to be a thinky puzzle that you're really getting to take your time with on a solo game. Solo games, a lot of the times, especially when they implement solo games into a game like this, it's meant for you to really sit there and like puzzle the heck out of your turns. I didn't want to do that like crazy on this video. I was obviously cutting out the thinking moments, but I didn't want to take forever to do it because I'm also filming. I want to keep it moving, and just kind of try it out and see what I could make happen. But that's how it plays out, and I think it would definitely go better the next go round trying it again. But anyways, guys, I hope you all enjoyed this. I hope you found it somewhat entertaining, watching me lose and stress over losing, and and have to go back and rework and make sure that I get these rules as clear, as close to correct as I can. I'm sure I missed stuff. Feel free to comment anything that you see that I did wrong in the comment section. But again, thank you guys so much. You know, if you enjoy this kind of content, a couple of those little free clicks on the screen really help support out channels like mine. Appreciate it so much when you do, but as always, do what is right for you. And until next time, I will see you on the next video. Take care. Have a great rest of your evening. Bye-bye.